Welcome back to stream. Hi, hello. Um, so I just noticed that it's been exactly a month since my last stream. How are ya? You know, that's a good question. Hope you're doing well. Well, physically, I've been a little sick, but I'm alright. Physically, I'm okay. Mentally, it's been a little crazy. Aw, thank you for the okaidi. Tadaima. Um, I'm doing, I don't know where to start, I'll be honest. I was a little bit sick, not gonna lie, I caught a cold, but mentally, I've been not in the best place because of my current job, which means I'm likely going to be job hunting again soon. My current job's environment. I miss talking to you guys, honestly. I miss streaming, god damn it. Which is why I think I'm gonna be I have two goals right now. First goal is I'm going to save up money for a relocation fund in Japan. So I'm still going to be in Japan, but I want to relocate in Japan out of my current place. I want to relocate. And I will be looking for a new job. Relocate? You never heard of the word relocate? Relocation? When somebody moves to a different place, usually for a job, relocate. My current job, I thought that it was going well. As you guys know, I have been getting sick sometimes, and I have a medical condition that makes me get sick easier. Basically a weakened immune system, which has caused me to miss days at work. No, not reassigned. I'm looking for a new job. Basically, my current job, my boss deems that I'm still not at the sufficient place that I should be. And so I am having my probationary period at work extended. I basically got a whole list of things that I had done that led to this decision. My performance was not up to par, I guess. But after speaking with friends, consultant friends, and talking to other people in my support groups that I'm in, they advised me to get a new job or think about relocating and getting a new job, because while I like this job, I like teaching, my boss is very nitpicky. It's my boss. This is my first time that I've ever had to deal with a very overbearing boss. And I'm trying to grin and bear it. You know, I have some time to also think about if I want to stay with the job, right? Because since this probationary period's been extended, that means I also get the chance to see that if I want to stick with this job. Um, but there are just many things that I was told, you know, I wasn't good enough. I had to be told multiple times how to do something because I genuinely asked, and I guess I asked too many questions, and that was a no-no. There were some cultural differences that they do things differently in Japan that I didn't know. That was also counted against me. I was constantly compared to my coworkers. My boss told me that I never had an employee take this long to understand something, I guess. She's like, all the other employees are great. I don't get why you aren't like them, which kind of hurt to be told that to my face. And yeah, it was a wake up call for me. But I thought, you know, this entire time, maybe it's a blessing in disguise, so I'm bigger and better, maybe. I thought this entire time that something was wrong with me. So that's why I had to not stream, because my mental was just in the shitter. So I thought this entire time there's something wrong with me. You know, like, oh, I'm a bad teacher, I'm a bad employee, I'm terrible, I'm incompetent, I'm slow. And my friends are like, you are not slow and incompetent, or else you wouldn't be where you are today. And they're right. My boss is actually a woman. So she's a woman. And they're right. I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. And she didn't call me dumb or stupid, right? But I felt like I was being talked to like I was. I was being, and I didn't realize that at the time until a friend, I was, contacting with a friend, and I was just like, I was like talking with them, and they're just like, they called you slow. She called you slow and incompetent. I'm like, what? She's like, professionally, she just told you that you were dumb. I was like, oh, I've never been called professionally dumb before, I've had my share of jobs, I've had my share of jobs. I don't think I've ever been told that I've been so bad at a job, though. In fact, I've always adapted quickly to my jobs. So this is my first job where I've actually had a boss tell me, you're terrible. I've been trying to look at it in a positive way, and I want to thank my friends. Because I think if I didn't have any friends to talk to, I think I would have sorry, I still have a slight cough. I think if I didn't have my friends to talk to me, it would have really been bad. So I just want to be thankful for my friends. But I'm not dumb. I wouldn't be where I am if I was, right? I mean, I joke about it, right? But I wouldn't be where I am if I was. So I'm not slow, and I'm not incompetent. And hello, I am smart. So, but yeah, I'm going to be looking for a new job. And I'm also going to be saving up money to try to relocate. there are other jobs out there and places I want to work at. Um, but the issue is relocating. Um, you know, relocation takes a lot of money and such. Um, so if I relocate, I need to have money to move and, you know, I need to have money to find a new apartment. I need to have money to, you know, move-in fees and stuff like that. And some jobs help, but some jobs don't. So I want to be open to being able to relocate if a job needs me to. Um, so I will be looking for a new job, and I will be saving money. So I will still work at my current job, and as I'm saving money, I will put money aside as I continue working to hopefully move somewhere else. But yeah, it's just it's surprising, you know. I mean, I got asked, you know, when my boss was like, "Do you want to continue to work here?" And I said yes. If I didn't want to work here, I'd be gone. You know, I'd be gone, right? Because during the probation period, an employee can also leave if they want to without any penalty, right? So the probation period in Japan, it goes both ways. The employer can dismiss an employee during the probationary period if they feel like their performance isn't up to par or whatever, if there's any issues. And an employee can also choose to leave the company without any notice, you know, during the probationary period. So if I wanted to leave this job, I could have left. Right? I could have left like, you know, a weekend. I could have been like, nah, I can't do this, right? And then I could have left. But I didn't. I really like the kids, and my coworkers are courteous enough to me. And I thought that it was okay. I know I was absent a lot, and that was a cause of many issues, I guess. So yeah, I, 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 yeah, but it's just dealing with my boss is just, I ask myself if I was in, you know, would I take this if it was a different if I was in different circumstances, would I take this treatment? And no, I wouldn't take this treatment, right? I'd be like, oh, I'm getting the heck up out of here, you know? Yeah. So, yeah. I'm gonna look for a new job. So, yeah, but I'm sorry that I haven't been able to stream. Um, it's just between being sick physically and being off mentally with my job, I just was not in the headspace to stream. I would just honestly come home, load up Final Fantasy 14, and just try to numb myself, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie. I just tried to be numb. To deal with feeling inadequate. Exactly. You hit it right on the point, Day. I was feeling I felt inadequate. With what I was being told, it made me feel like, wow, I'm terrible. She told me yesterday, though, when she told me about my probation period being extended, she did say your lessons are getting better. But I haven't really been told anything I've been doing good from my boss, right? But you don't get that when you're at work, right? When you're at work, you're just told everything that you're bad at. Right? When you're at work, you're told the mistakes that you did, but you don't get told what you did good. Not as an adult, right? As a kid, we do that for kids though. For kids, we tell them every time they do something good, for example, since I work with young kids, every time they do something good, I say, good job, right? Thank you for, putting away your chair or for washing your hands, right? We tell children good job because we want them to keep doing the thing. But people are people, right? And we all need reassurance sometimes. And I think getting told everything I was doing wrong, but nothing that I was doing right, was also kind of like, huh, okay, you know. Thanks you. You still notice. Exactly, right? They'll always notice what you're lacking, right? You could have done, right? If you had 10 things you had to do and you did 9 of them, they will only notice the one thing that you didn't do and not the other things that you did do, right? So yeah, it's been an adjustment, it's been an adjustment. But I like the kids, the kids, they're so nice and sweet. Some of them are more shy of me, right? Some of them are a little bit shy. Good bosses would still tell you regardless. No, I really haven't gotten a compliment from my boss about my performance. I didn't want to ask that either. I'm like, I'm not going to ask her about what I'm doing well. I'm not going to ask her that. She can tell me that on her own. If I ask her if I'm doing anything well, I think it comes off as desperate. You know what I mean? So, but I think what really hurt me was when she said, "Aw, thank you. Thanks, Mini-Me. I appreciate that. Thank you." How's my sleep lately? It's been okay. There's actually been a few times where I've woken up before my alarm. It's weird. There's been a few times where I've woken up before my alarm. So my sleep's actually been okay. It's just, yeah. My sleep's been okay. I get sick easier because of my immune system. So I usually get a cold. And when you're around little kids all day, they're little germ collectors. So. But, you grin and bear it, right? Unless I'm on death's door, right, with a fever and I'm, sick, I will come into work, is what I've understood from this. Admittedly, but yeah, so I do, I do wish perhaps the cultural difference. You guys know what's expected. Yes, and there were some things that I was told there were some things that I was expected, and there were some things I was not told beforehand on that was expected. And because cultural difference, right? So, for example, at my job, we have uniform shirts, right? So that's a part of the uniform. We all have uniform shirts that we wear. In Japan, for some jobs, it's not good to go in your uniform to go eat somewhere. I didn't know that because in America, people, when you see people on their break eating in their uniform all the time, it's a normal thing in America. In Japan, it's not seen as good. So when I would go on my break, I would go to the konbini to go eat something, and the konbini has a little eat-in area, the convenience store, so I would eat there. And my boss told me, "Oh, we don't do that, you know, in Japan." And I made the mistake of asking, "Oh, really?" Because I didn't understand. It was a cultural difference. We don't do that in America. I made the mistake of asking why when I should have just said yes. Because I wasn't asking, I didn't say why because the reputation of the institution you work for. Exactly. But I didn't know that. I genuinely did not know because it's different in the US. And at my old job, we didn't have a uniform, right? So I could go out and eat and no one would know, you know, who I work for because I didn't have a uniform, right? I have a uniform at this job. But in America, it's fine to go eat in your uniform when you're on break because you don't have time to change, you know, you have a break and you don't really have the time to, you know, change your clothes, right? So I didn't know. And so my boss explained it to me. She said, in Japan, this is how we do it. And I was like, oh, okay, I see. But that was counted against me as a reason. She said it was a repeated conversation, even though it wasn't repeated. She just had to give me a longer explanation because of cultural differences. But that's a bad thing, I guess. Shouldn't have to give you a long explanation because I don't have to do that with the Japanese teachers, but I have to do that with you. No good. No bueno. Okay. Okay. I mean, all I could do was just sign the paperwork, you know. Now, there were some things that I do take responsibility for. For example, there were times where I was checking my phone on the clock, and I shouldn't have been. From home and school grounds. There are some schools that do that, but in Japan, it's really weird because I've seen students walking around in their uniform, like they'll like get off of school and then like they'll go to the arcade or something, but they'll like the game center or something, and they're still wearing their uniform, which always confused me because I would be like, why don't you go home and then come back out? Like, why don't you go home, change, and then come back outside? For some odd reason, they'll wear their uniform to like the game center, and that's like for a lot of schools. Like, I see kids in their uniforms all the time. I always wondered about that because I always thought that was so weird, you know? Like, you're right that there are schools that don't allow it. Like, I thought that Japan would not allow that, but in Japan, I guess the rules are different for school uniforms. Because I've always seen kids, like, I guess before they go home, they'll go to like the game center after school or something, or the convenience store or something. And so, but they'll still be in their uniforms. And I'm like, why are you in your uniform? You know? Like, why not go home, change, and then, like, go back out and, like, you know, hang out with friends, I guess. But, I don't know. I guess it's a culture thing, right? Different culture. I don't get it, but it's Japan, you know? But I guess that's what I also felt when I was in the meeting. I felt like she wasn't taken into respect the cultural differences, right? Like, we have cultural differences. I also want to note that at the beginning of my job, I was not told what class I would be assigned to, and I did not find out until I was told to go to a meeting, and I was like, "Oh, what's this meeting for?" And then they told me. I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'm the teacher for this class now." They did not tell me that. I didn't learn until that day. But my boss never apologized for that. When I told her that you didn't tell me, she was like, what? She kept deflecting. She was like, I told you. And I said, no, you didn't. And I gave up because she just wouldn't admit to her mistake. I was like, okay. It was also not in writing anywhere. Conveniently, there was nothing in writing anywhere, right? That said, oh, you are going to be the teacher for this class. There was nothing in writing. I wasn't given anything in writing. I was told this verbally. But I never held that against her, right? I didn't hold it against her. I just said, okay, whatever, and I just went with it. But I can't bring that up now, right? It would look bad if I brought it up. But I'll get other things of mine brought up, and it's interesting. I'm good at cleaning. I'm good at cleaning, at least. Yeah, I don't think there's been any complaints about my cleaning, so that's good. There was one time, I think, somebody said, hey, you forgot to clean this. And I was just like, oh, okay, I'll clean it for next time. But at least my cleaning skills are good. Thank God my mom taught me how to clean. Yeah. So, cleaning is therapeutic. It can be. I had to clean a place by myself today because everybody was busy, and it was by myself, and it was definitely therapeutic. I felt therapeutic. I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. Nobody else is here. It's just me, and I'm just cleaning, and it did kind of feel therapeutic, yeah. But at the same time, after consulting my friends about it, you know, I was afraid that my friends are going to tell me, oh, yeah, Coco, like you messed up big time. But they all told me point blank, your boss is being nitpicky. Some of them called my boss a mean word, which I don't agree with. I don't think my boss is a mean word. I don't think she's that mean word that some of my friends had called her. I do not think that she is a bitch. Some of my friends called her a bitch. I don't think that she is. Was I hurt by some of her words? Yes, but I don't think that she's mean or terrible. But I can't handle that amount of nitpickiness, you know? Also, I was filmed on camera. Like, she showed me a film on camera of me like not doing work, and I take responsibility for it because it's on camera, but also I was not given tasks to do because I got tasks being taken away. Is she on the older side? She is, yes. I'm guessing she's either in her 60s. I'm guessing. I don't know how old she actually is, but I'm guessing 60s. And you know, I was told like, oh, you know, for example, she said, I gave you a task to do. And I said yes. And I did the task. Or I thought I did. But I didn't do it enough. So now I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do slightly malicious compliance. And now I'm going to memorize every single song ever. Because like she told me, for example, to memorize nursery rhymes. To practice nursery rhymes. And I'm like, I know a bunch of them already. But I made it my prerogative to practice all the ones we have listed in our database every single day now. She was like, you didn't read the manuals. Or she was like, when I told you to read the manuals, you told me you already did. And I said, yes, because I did. But I'm not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to say, what am I supposed to say if I'm told to read the manuals and I already read them? Should I just say, yes, okay? Or yes, I did them? If you think the answer is yes, I did them, you're wrong. The answer should always be yes, okay. Yes, okay. I understand. Okay. Nah, I already did. Or, oh, I didn't do that? No. Because that, I guess, in Japan is seen as doubting. So don't answer that. Always say yes. I understand. Okay. Hello. Welcome in. So. So yeah. Sorry, I was typing something real quick. But yeah, so basically I am going to grin and bear it as I save money. Speaking of, since I am saving money, if anybody needs a voice commission, you know your girl. If anyone needs a voice commission, you know. She's Japanese. I'm always looking for accuracy, not being compliant. Well, don't come to Japan then. It's all about being compliant. Though it's interesting because I got told to not think and to not assume things, right? I got told not to think and do things on my own. But I also got told that I need to do things on my own. So I'm a little bit confused about that, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, don't those contradict each other? And I was like, if don't those contradict each other? But I didn't say it. I just thought it. I didn't say it out loud. Just thought, that's kind of contradictory, but okay. Or so the boss that conveniently forgets information. It does get exhausted, I'm not gonna lie. But these are just the rules. And like she said, everybody else can follow it. So why can't you? She didn't say that, but it was implied, right? It's always implied. They love implying stuff in Japan. You might never get told it to your face, but it will always be implied. Right? Oh, everyone else is able to do work. So glad. Ah, she compared me to my other coworkers. Oh, so and so is great. So and so is great. So and so is great. So and so just came and she's great. So why aren't you? But she didn't say, why aren't you, right? It's just implied. I don't know if anyone ever told anybody, but nobody likes being compared to other people. And that's all I could think about as she was doing this. I'm like, has anyone ever told, does she have any clue that that is not one way to correct somebody? Is to compare them to another specific person? I compared myself to other people there. You know what they told me? They said, you're not me. Right? You're not me. You're not gonna be me. Be you. This is other senior teachers telling me this. And you're telling me that why am I not like other senior teacher? Well, maybe it's because I'm not them. I can't say that. I can't say that. That's why I have to bite my tongue. Keep it to myself. Bite my tongue, keep it to myself, because I need this job. Okay? But it's a little frustrating, right? A little frustrating, right? To get constantly compared to other coworkers when you are like, you don't know them. You're not, well, not you don't know them, but you're not them, right? You're not them. Mm. Oh, shady, that might be connected to something else. But you should try to learn Japanese. I mean, if we're talking about the language, that's different. I'm talking the culture, right? You're talking about learning Japanese as a language. I think that's different. Um, yeah, so it's a bit different. Language and cultures. Well, of course, the language and the culture is connected, but I think that's a little bit different than what I was meaning. But yeah, it's just I've heard that too. I know, yeah. Mhm. So, my friends have told me, Coco, value yourself and get a new job. So, I guess I'll listen to my friend. I've also lately, though, I have a good thing going on. I found a new bar to go to. I just found it one day when I was wandering around, and it's actually pretty nice and relaxing. So I've been going there a little bit more often lately. I guess that's also why I haven't been streaming sometimes at night, is that I went there to talk to people and meet new people, and it's actually nice. It's a good place to blow off steam. So, admittedly, when there were some times where I was going to stream, but hi, welcome in. But I wanted to go out a bit, you know? I just don't want to be stuck in the house, you know what I mean? So I figured if I go out, I'll feel a little bit better. And I did. Besides, if I stay stuck in the house, I might get all moody and depressed. So it's been a bit hot lately. I want to visit the beach. I want to have pool day. Ah, that reminds me. We're gonna have pool day soon at my. We're gonna have the pool out soon at my school. I need to find a swimming suit. I asked about it, and maybe I'll ask about it again. I could ask my boss about it. I just want to make sure. I don't have a swimsuit since I've came to Japan. I haven't really been swimming in years. I haven't really been swimming in years, so I don't have a swimsuit. Oh, thank you. I'm doing okay. Ooh, these are more fitness-like. I think these are better. If I get something that's like more fitness, I think it'll be more appropriate for work. The only thing though is that I hope it comes in my size. That's the only thing about being in Japan. Just the plus sizes are hard. But sorry, enough about me. But I've been rambling on so much. I hope that you guys are doing okay. Sorry. Here I am rambling about how boring life is and everything, about boring life and job stuff. But I hope that you guys are doing okay. I'm well. That's good to hear. I'm glad. That sound tough. OMG, it's Coco. It's me. Yeah, Japan isn't the easiest place to move to. Do you speak Japanese as well? Hi, Nihongo hanasemasu. 今勉強しています。ちょっとまだまだですけど、毎日頑張ります。 Yep, I speak Japanese too. But even though I'm glad to hear you again on stream. Thank you. Do we have an ASMR night tomorrow? Don't know. We should have ASMR night tomorrow. But I kind of want to go out tomorrow night. Well, that's the tricky thing. Maybe I should move ASMR night to Fridays. Then I can still go out on Saturdays. I mean, I could have went out tonight, but I wanted to stay home and stream because I hadn't seen you guys in such a long time. I know, but I know, but it's the weekend. I know, but I don't stream that often. You know what I mean? I haven't been able to stream in such a long time, and we haven't in ASMR. Oh, I feel bad. Oh, sorry guys. I have to blow my nose. 1 second. I guess work and stuff just has me feeling so stressed that I just went out to have some fun and relax. But I miss doing my ASMR too, you know? It's always so hard. It's always so hard to balance everything, isn't it? You have to balance your work, personal life, streaming, hobbies. Well, I know. But I mean, I don't have to go every Saturday night, you know? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll make a decision by tomorrow. But I know that you guys really miss ASMR, don't you? It's okay, you can admit it. Don't be mad. But I can understand if you want ASMR again. It only makes sense. Hmm. Just do it. I mean, technically, I could do both, but like, I don't want to go out that late. Like, I could if I want, because it's a bar that's open late, you know? So if I wanted to, I could stream like I could stream like at 9 or so and then go out afterwards. But like, I don't like going out like after a certain time. Like, call me old fashioned, you know? Bar ASMR? Ooh, that's a good prompt. I could pretend to be a bartender. Wow. Can I take your drink order? What sort of drink would you like today? Beer? Wine? A cocktail? Though I have to admit, I'm not much of a drinker. When I go to this place, I usually only drink 2 mixed drinks or some juice. I'm not much of an alcoholic person myself, so. But a bar ASMR would sound good. Mm. Drinks are, especially now today, expensive. I know. Alcohol's so expensive. Electric blue. I like Cassius orange. It's a cocktail made with it's made with, it looks like juice. Cassius orange. It's kind of like juice. It's really sweet. It's made with Cassius liquor, which is liquor from a fruit, and then mixed with orange juice. It's really yummy. She's gonna fall asleep. How's your friend? No, I'm not gonna fall asleep. I'm not. I tried a cola soft drink and you don't taste alcohol at all. Those are dangerous. That's the thing. Like, Cassius orange is still strong. So, like, if you're not careful, you can, like, fall asleep. You know what I mean? I won't. I've taken. Ooh, lemon sours are good. Have you ever had an owl sour? It's like apple, a green apple sour. Those are so good. I'm not gonna fall asleep. I mean, I am a little sleepy, but I'm not gonna fall asleep. You know what I mean? Oh, that's the thing with the plum wines. They have umeshu. The plum wines, umeshu, right? Umeshu is also especially when you mix it with something else. It is 11 p.m. in Japan right now. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock in Japan right now. You should. Are you sure? Because that's what plum is. You said plum wines. Umeshu is that. That's what umeshu is made from. Umeshu is made from plums. You might have tried it, but maybe they told you the English name? Hmm. But if you haven't, definitely try it the next time you go out. Definitely try it the next time. You know what I mean? It's delicious. Sorry. I keep checking Twitter. Let me close Twitter. Sorry. Should be focused on you guys. Should be focused on you guys. But if you're asking, well, Coco, besides your job, playing mind games with you, have you been up to anything else interesting? No. No. Well, no. Really. Besides that. Got a bit of the itis. Ramen! I want ramen. Wait, no, I don't want ramen. Wait, I had yakiniku today. I was feeling so terrible after work that I was just like, I deserve yakiniku. So I went to my favorite place. I only got like half of what I usually got though because I wanted to save money. But I got my usual and it was delicious. Japan must be rough. It's definitely a time. At the end, I told myself that if I can't make it work in Japan, I understand that I might have to return to America. That's what I told myself. I just don't want to go back to the US, you know? I mean, I invested so much time and money and energy into moving to Japan, and my family's so proud of me, you know? They tell me all the time how they brag to other people about, how I moved to Japan and I got up and did it. Teach Japanese in the US? I don't have a teacher's license. Also, my degree is teaching English. I guess I should have maybe gotten a degree in education instead. Oops. And minor in TEFL or whatever. But I got my degree in specifically teaching English as a second language. I mean, technically, there are some TESOL opportunities back in the US, to be fair. Because people do come to the US to study. Though, I don't know if people are really coming to the US during this time. But that's a topic for another day. But I do get going back to teach Japanese. A friend of mine actually is teaching Japanese back in Australia. After she graduated from school and all that stuff, she came back to Japan to work for a bit. Then she went back to Australia, and she started teaching Japanese there. I don't know if she's still doing it, but do I know languages besides Japanese, English, and Japanese? Nope. Sorry, those are the only two languages I know. My parents do speak Spanish, but they never taught me any Spanish. I could have been trilingual, but my parents never taught me any Spanish, so I do not speak Spanish. So I only speak English and Japanese. Oops. Parenting failure. I don't know either. Maybe they just wanted us to assimilate to the US or whatever. I have no clue. But no, they didn't teach me or my sister any Spanish, so. Kids pick up languages fairly easy up. I know! And you can see it at the school that I'm at. Right now, they're at the perfect age to learn another language. So many of them are already speaking good English, even though they're so young, because they're at that age where they pick up language so easily. And I keep telling that to parents. If you want your child to learn another language, you have to start early as soon as you can. The earlier, the better. It is scientifically proven that kids are good at picking up languages. At that age, their brain's elasticity, it just sticks better, you know? But some parents think that it'll mess with their other language or something like that. And I'm just like, no, no, no. That's a myth. That's not true. Your kid could be a bilingual, amazing bilingual person. Please. You can manage that. They phone. Yes. Please don't put your children on phones so early on. I know. Please don't give your children immediate phones, alright? Please don't. Please don't. Please don't give your children phones as soon as they pop out. You have to teach them how to regulate their emotions, that not through an iPad. If you keep teaching them how to regulate their emotions through an iPad and then you take the iPad away, then they don't know how to regulate their emotions because you just always gave them an iPad. Yes, communicate with other human beings in person is good. But yeah. At least the good thing about being in preschool, though, is that because these kids are so young, they're not like, you know, how do I say this? You know how people complain about like the modern teenagers these days? Since I'm not teaching teenagers these days, I don't have to deal with teenagers who basically have zero motivation. I mean, sometimes it is tricky working with children, but like, you know, do you enjoy teaching? Yes, I do. I do like teaching. I do enjoy it. Of course, I enjoy teaching. If I didn't enjoy teaching, I would have never majored in it, you know? Biggest advantage in the class is you can force them to do what you tell them to do. Well, we don't exactly force, we encourage, you know? So I wouldn't call it forcing them to do, but we would encourage them to do, you know? Especially since we try to make the lessons fun. So we try to keep the lessons as fun as possible, you know? Yes, I still enjoy teaching. I think a lot of people are surprised when I say that. People are always like, you enjoy teaching? And I'm like, yes. I do enjoy teaching. I don't know why people seem to be so surprised by that. But I do enjoy teaching despite it. It's oftentimes when it comes to teaching and you hear teachers talking about their frustrations, it isn't about the act of teaching itself, right? Or else they would have never signed up. It's usually the environment, right? Now, it could be students, could be administration, right? But that's usually the problem areas. So, once you fix those problem areas, if you can, then that's when it gets better. You know? But yeah, I enjoy teaching. I do. And even though in Japan, the teaching industry, especially for teaching English as a second language, isn't really the best, I still would like to continue. Wish we had more teachers like you. Aw, thanks. It's times like I really appreciate words like that. Sometimes you just doubt yourself, you know? And honestly, after this week, I've been doubting my own self as a teacher. But you know what? I'm just going to keep on doing. If there's one thing I can do is that I can go in, try myself try my best 100%, and just roll with it, you know? If I go in every day and give my all, 110%, maybe that can be enough. You know? But yeah, I enjoy teaching. And it's funny, my friends ask me, they're like, well, do the kids like you? You know? They're like, do the kids hate you? And I'm like, I don't think they do, no. They run up to me, they say hi. There was one girl there, I remember when I first started working there. She would come up to me every day and tell me her name. She would say, my name is so and so, and then she would ask me, do you know my name? And I say, I do. Because you always come up and tell me. She's a sweet girl. And then last Friday, I had one girl tell me that I was so funny. She was like, Coco, you're so funny. Made my whole day. Made my whole day, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, trust me, if I wanted to quit this job, I would have, but when I was younger, kids were annoying. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. They have so much energy. Kids do, yes. So much energy. Oh my goodness. Like, we'll come out from playing inside, and I'm like, oh, right, you guys are tired, right? And they're like, no. And I'm like, what? You're not tired? Like, wow. Oh, hello. Thanks for the follow. But yeah, they have so much good energy. I admire your perseverance. As a teacher, you need to have perseverance. If you don't have perseverance, it's the wrong field for you. Oh, thank you. You're very kind. Thank you. Thanks for the follow. I miss the time as the clock has no meaning to me and everything. Oh, wait, shoot. I missed 11:11. Darn, I missed 11:11. I was gonna say make a wish. I missed 11:11. But yep, when you're a teacher, if there's one thing that you have to have, you need to have perseverance and patience. So patience, perseverance, and the ability to smile through it all. That's what you need. You know? Patience, perseverance, and a smile. Lots of patience. Ooh, excuse me. Oh no! Damn it! Ugh. My modeling was doing so good. Why did it suddenly mess up now? I guess this is why people want to stream with a phone instead of a webcam, huh? Or maybe it's finally time for me to get a new webcam. Dust on the camera? No, it's with VTube Studio. I keep telling myself that I would just get a used phone, iPhone or something, but I keep forgetting. Another purchase that I need to make, but it's just been on the back burner because of adult stuff. You know, life. But my camera is pretty old. I bought this back in 2021. I had it back during my debut since I started streaming. And honestly, it was just a cheap webcam that I got off of Amazon. So it's not even really fancy or anything. That's old? Well, I mean, 5 years isn't old, but it's a 5-year cheap webcam. So I don't expect it really to last long, you know? It's also persevered through a lot. Yeah, this camera came with me from America. I don't know if you guys know that, but this camera actually came with me from America. When I moved from America to Japan, I brought all my streaming equipment. So my microphone, my camera. It's pretty old for a cheap electronic. That's what I mean. It's so cheap, I'm surprised it's still working. I told myself that I would upgrade later, but I never did get that iPhone that I told myself that I would buy. It's just that when I went to go look at cheap iPhones, they all seemed so expensive still, even the older models. Because I was told what models that I could get it for, the tracking for, you know, with the Face ID, because of the way that it works. But, geez Louise, they're all so expensive even though they're all used. I don't get it. Why are they still so expensive if they're old models? You know what I mean? This is an old model. Why is it still so expensive? Is it one from a used iPhone store? Yeah, I went to a used store. Like a used iPhone. I went to a used store. And they still were expensive. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. This phone is like several years old. And you're still charging this much for a used model? Is there like Facebook Marketplace for Japan? Yeah, Mercari. Have you guys heard of Mercari before? It's from Japan. That's where most people usually put stuff. And I did honestly look for an iPhone on there. The oldest iPhone I think that I was looking for was like the X, because it has like the Face ID or whatever. But people are still trying to charge a lot for them. And I'm like, this phone is not worth this much. That's old. I was looking for an iPhone, exactly, and I'm like, why the hell you wanted me to pay 1 mon for like an iPhone X? Because like, you guys don't realize, I just want the phone for VTuber tracking. Like, that's it. I don't need it as like an actual phone. I already have a phone. You know what I mean? I have a phone that I use for my daily life and stuff like that. I just want a track-in for VTuber Studio on my phone so it could offload some of my GPU. You know what I mean? That's what I want an iPhone for. So I want the iPhone that has the what do they call it? Is it XR? I forgot what they call it or whatever. But I want the iPhone that has like the facial ID or the technology, because that's what VTube Studio uses. You know what I mean? VTube Studio uses that, and you know, it would be helpful to have. It would be helpful to have. That way I don't have to use my webcam. It could lower the strain on my GPU, and my tracking would be way more accurate. Like, my facial tracking would be way more accurate. So I still have my iPhone 8 just in case. You have your iPhone 8? Wow, that is old. That is really old. iPhone 8 is old. How old is iPhone 8? Ah, the AR kit. That's what it's called. So basically, any iPhone that has Face ID. So any iPhone or iPad, I guess you can use an iPad. But I don't want to use a big ass iPad that has Face ID. So the oldest phone that has the first phone that had Face ID was the iPhone X. So that's what I want to use for my tracking. But they still seem so expensive on here. And I'm just like, bruh, why are you charging me this much for an iPhone X? I'm like, why are you charging this much for an iPhone X for? You know what I mean? So, yeah. Not for everyday use, but I still use it every now and then because I haven't transferred some minor data. Ah, I see. But yeah, I just want like a iPhone. I just want like an iPhone for tracking for VTube Studio, and that's it. It wouldn't be used for that. So because of that, I don't really need a fancy iPhone. You know, like, I know some people are buying like a brand new iPhone. I don't need a brand new. I just need it to do one thing and one thing only: track my model in VTube Studio. Well, the thing is that Japan likes new stuff, though. You know what I mean? Like, Japan really likes new stuff. So I would expect their old stuff to be like, you know, I would expect their old stuff to be like, old. Old stuff to not old, but like I would expect their old stuff to be cheap. So I'm like, why are you you know what I mean? But but yeah. But yeah. You know what's expensive in Japan? Fruit. But if a cheap tablet has face tracking, would you get it? If it has the AR kit. Because the AR kit from Apple on iOS is what works. The problem is though, is that an iPad's just so big. I don't want to like put an iPad to take up space. Plus, wouldn't an iPad in some cases be more expensive than a phone? You know? Like, wouldn't the iPads might be more expensive than a phone? Because my issue right now is that on VTube Studio, right, when it comes to the quality of tracking, right, the number one quality is iOS because of the AR kit. The second in quality is the webcam, which is what I use. And the third in quality is Android. I have an Android phone. If I wanted to, I could do my tracking on Android. But the tracking on Android sucks balls. That's why I don't use it. I use my webcam because it's better. And I specifically use my webcam with the NVIDIA because I have an NVIDIA GPU and it works better. But the best tracking would be iOS. So that's why I want to get an iPhone, because I want better tracking. That's all. And I want to offload some of it on my GPU because right now, since I'm using the GPU tracking for better tracking, I can't run heavy games and have my model. So I guess that's like the main, that's like the main thing. Yes. So that's why I want the iPhone, you know? Um, but yes, so iOS basically, um, is the best thing. So I would like to get iOS. The thing is though, is that, you know what I mean? I just would like to get iOS to work better. But like I can't, spend money on a fancy schmancy iPhone. I don't have the money for that, I don't have this schmancy fancy money for the iPhone, I wish I did, but I don't. So it's whatever, you know? But one day I would like to. To be fair, there's a lot of things on my list that I would like to have. I thought I turned that off for YouTube. Sorry. Sorry, YouTube peeps. I know on YouTube people like to be a little bit more. What do you say? I don't know. I think people like to be a little bit more. People like to be more low key on YouTube. You know, unhinged. No, I think low key. So like the difference in Twitch and YouTube culture is like interesting to like observe, you know what I mean? So for example, on Twitch, right, giving shout outs is very like expected. If that makes sense. Um so like for example, if somebody follows you, right, you're expected, or if somebody subscribes, you know, you're expected to say something, right? To say, oh, thank you for the follow, or thank you for the subscription, or thank you for the biddy, something like that, right? And, you know, have a little alert for it and everything. While on YouTube, it's more low key, right? If somebody subscribes to your channel, right, it's usually, you know, more quiet, right? You don't want to say you thank you for the subscribe or something like that. Yes, right? There's less moderation. Versus Twitch, where it's like, you know, oh, you should be saying, you know, thank you and stuff, right? To um here we go. Subscribers. Twitch cat holders handle. Welcome back. Yes, chat culture is interesting. It's interesting to see the differences between Twitch and there we go. Okay, I turned it off on YouTube. So that's what I noticed. I think people on YouTube like to lurk more, unless they send a super chat or they do the membership, because then that pops up in chat like really big, right? So then that's something that you need to acknowledge, right? But even then, you can acknowledge it like either at the end of your stream, right? Or something like that. Like, I feel like people on YouTube won't get as mad at you for not acknowledging their like super chat or something versus Twitch, where it's just like if somebody sends you something, you need to be like on it, you know? You need to be on it right now, or else like people will get cranky or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like that difference is just really interesting. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. But I think that difference is just really interesting, you know? What were you talking about? I was talking about the differences in chat culture between Twitch and YouTube. The differences are just interesting to observe. You know what I mean? Like YouTube, you know, YouTube, like there's a lot more lurking and stuff, and so people don't need shout outs versus Twitch, which is very like, you know, community, like very chat heavy, lots of high chat interaction, stuff like that. So it's just interesting between the two platforms, you know, since I've started multi-streaming on both. Um, Oh, I should also say this. So you guys remember back when I said that like I wouldn't be doing any like how do I say this? You remember when I said that like I wouldn't be doing like any like non ASMR streams on Twitch? Yeah, I'm getting rid of that. Fuck it. I made that rule because I thought it would help, but it honestly I haven't seen any like progress or anything like that. So I'm not doing that anymore. Okay, so we'll go back to like normal multi-streaming on both platforms for everything. Yeah. I was gonna make my Twitch channel, you know, recommended on like ASMR only. But I noticed that there really haven't been any like differences since that or whatever. So yeah, we're just gonna go back to streaming on both channels. Everything, anything and everything. But as always, if you guys want to see VODs of any previous stream, they will always be on my YouTube because they only last 2 weeks on Twitch. So if you want to see previous VODs or anything, please, please be sure to check out my YouTube. It has everything. All my games, right? Everything that I've played in the past. If there's any ASMR streams that you want to re-listen to, it's all on YouTube because they can only last on Twitch for 2 weeks. So, if you want to, you know, have that archive, think of my YouTube essentially as an archive. Aw, thank you. If you fall asleep, I hope you have sweet dreams. Oh my gosh, it's almost midnight over here. I just noticed that. Wait, you know what? I might have to end stream because I have ice cream in my fridge and I don't want to go eat. Yesterday, I got myself a McFlurry and I didn't finish it because it was actually quite rich. But it's in my fridge, like McChillin'. It's in my freezer, McChillin'. Yeah. One of these days. No, don't go. What? It's like it's like an hour and 30 minutes. I have stuff to do tomorrow. Wait, I forgot. Tomorrow I have errands. I have to run. I'm not joking. Tomorrow's my errand day. Tomorrow's my errand day. I have to go to the doctor to get my prescription and I gotta go pay bills. Tomorrow's my errand day. I don't have a choice. It's nice to have you back. And it's nice to be back. And it's nice to come back to people who miss me. So thank you for still sticking around. Have a safe day tomorrow. Thank you, you too. Okay, but yeah, I am going to end stream here because I'm a little bit sleepy. Okay, so everyone, if I do not know if I'm not going to stream tomorrow or what, so we'll see. Good night. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, or night. And as always, I shall please see you in your dreams. Bye bye.